walk us through opening ceremonies. Like for those who've never attended, whether you're a local and you've just never been and you've been here for the whole 40 years, or if you're from, out of the area and want to learn more about Utah Summer Games, tell us about that experience.
So the opening ceremony experience, I would say, is a multifaceted celebration of the kind of dream of the Olympic spirit, community. Again, it feeds into that third component of what we talked about, community, healthy lifestyles. There's a celebration of that. I do think it is a very authentic celebration of what makes Cedar City and SUU such a vital relationship in driving Iron County to what it is today and where it's going to be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now. And I think it's a celebration of the future.
Yeah.
Because so many of our participants are younger people, and it's a celebration of them and what they're doing today, and all of us taking ownership and a stake in what they're going to do tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I think when you bring all those different things together, that celebration of past, present, and future, it creates this very unique relationship of 10,000 plus people who come to opening ceremony and experience a concert, experience one of Utah's best fireworks shows. And they experience all this, in my opinion, in one of the most picturesque universities in the entire United States.
Agreed.
In one of the most picturesque cities in the entire United States. And in a way, it's hard to describe because of just how pure and simple, yet incredibly complex and vibrant an experience it is.
Right. So they come to this unique city with a unique backdrop. And there's, and I described it as a parade. I don't know if that's what you described.
We do have the parade of athletes part.
Yeah. So describe almost the schedule of events that night in the ceremony. So what does it start with? What does it end with? And walk us through that. So you create this picture for people in their minds.
So I think one of the first things that we have that evening is the block party. KSL TV has been a tremendous partner in helping us to build that block party. And really what the block party is, starting at approximately 4:00 or so in the afternoon, is an invitation to the community to come on campus at SUU and come have a great time. Community partners there, had an increased media presence this year with radio stations doing live remotes and television, KSL doing live cut-ins, if you will, coming down here for that. And the block parties is basically an invitation for people to bring your family, come over to SUU, enjoy different activities and visiting with local businesses and vendors, having dinner, if you will, maybe from a local food vendor, and getting on campus and immersing yourself into that Summer Games opening ceremony experience. Then you move on to a little bit later, we have a short VIP reception. And the reason I bring that up is we do a lot of recognition within that of people who've played a massive part in the yearly management of the games, giving awards to some people. It's really been a fun thing.
You also have a lot of volunteers,
also
right?
have a lot of volunteers.
Do you know about how many volunteers you guys have?
The number I've heard is kind of fluctuated. I would say we have roughly anywhere from, at one point I know it was 1,000.
Oh, wow.
I think, now you're looking probably more 400 to 500 people that are
that's crazy.
playing some role, whether big or small, in what we're doing.
That's amazing.
So yeah, there's the celebration of that aspect of it. Then you go into kind of getting ready, the excitement of people walking around the track, if you will, and the parade of athletes.
And they're holding these big signs with the different types of sports that they're in, right? And there was so many different sports. I thought, how many, you said it earlier, how many sports again was it?
40 plus unique athletic activities.
Wow,
and still
so
growing.
Cool. Yeah.
We're kind of like Disneyland in the sense that as long as there's imagination left in the world, we won't be completed.
Yeah.
So,
all right, keep walking us through, and then I want to dive into some of those sports. So keep walking us through. We have this parade
of athletes, which is always a great, just again, kind of visual embodiment of what we're trying to do, bringing people together in this spectacle of sports, if you will, walking around the track, being celebrated, feted just the same as you would at, say, an opening ceremony for an Olympic event, walking around the track, filling into the infield, and then moving into different short programming, whether it's welcome speeches from various political figures. We were super happy. President Mindy Benson always does such a great job opening the show, but this year we were super excited to, the first time ever, have a sitting U.S. Congressperson who spoke at the opening ceremony in Representative Celeste Malloy. First Lady Abby Cox was there as well, and just kind of again created that atmosphere of how this is a very special,
Yeah.
unique setting and is a big deal.
Did you lit the torch as well, right? Or I can't
No,
remember. Did you
I
do
didn't.
that here?
I did. We do.
You
yeah,
do,
I
but-
didn't personally.
But it was
yeah,
Doug
we do.
Padilla, right?
Doug Padilla. Yeah.
And
So
tell about Doug Padilla, because a lot of people don't know about. He's kind of one of those quiet forces that actually has some cool accomplishments.
yeah, so we were the whole inspiration of the opening ceremony for the 2024 show came in paying homage of the 40-year anniversary of the Olympics in Los Angeles.
Mm.
So Doug, who is a major figure in Utah sports, particularly if you're like you, who's in the running and track and field world, Doug's story is so incredible. So he grew up in California, came to BYU, won an indoor national championship in the 5,000 at BYU, went on to a professional running career, and then competed for Team USA in 1984 in Los Angeles and 1988 in Seoul. At one time was the top ranked runner in the world in several different distance races. And then went on after a pretty horrific car accident that almost cost him his leg to rehab
I
and
did
get
not
back
know
into
that.
Yeah, that's an incredible story you need to look up. Doug then went on to create a business in Utah called Runner Card,
Right.
which kind
Anyone
of
in
helped-
cross country knows Runner
Yeah,
Card.
anybody in cross country
least-
and track knows
yeah.
Runner Card. But is this site that basically helped organize and time road races, high school track events. And so anyways, Doug's contribution to sports in Utah is massive.
Yeah.
And as we went through the names of people that we wanted to potentially have be the torchbearer and light the cauldron, Doug's name just shouted
Yeah.
itself that it needed to be the person that we were going to do. We actually have our 2025 cauldron recipient or torch runner set as well now. Can't quite divulge it yet, but
Okay, I was going to ask.
it's a big name.
Oh, cool.
It's a big name.
You'll have to whisper in my
Yeah,
ear
maybe
after the show.
I'll tell you after the show.
I know a
but
couple.
it's,
I know a couple Olympians too for future years.
Yeah,
so,
it's this person is a multi-time Olympian, plays a large role in as a Utah native, by the way, actually a Utah Summer Games participant.
Oh, awesome.
Growing up, and plays a large role in the
we're teasing
larger
it out.
Olympic
This is good.
function. So when we release that name, people be like, "Wow, this is
I'm excited.
this is a good get." So
I'm
we're
excited to hear
for
this.
it.
Yeah.